if you ever get a dog and when you go to leave for work or you leave the house and the dog is left behind in the house, they can have a lot of anxiety. And that frustration, that emotional pain that the dog feels can cause them to tear up the house, um, and bark and squeal because they feel that their master, their owner, has separated from them, and they're going through emotional pain. Snow Panther, good to see you. And emotional pain is somewhat in the mind. It's somewhat our thoughts, um, focusing on the negative or focusing on the worst case scenario, thinking that we'll never see someone again. Now, it's possible that at any time in life, things can change permanently. And there is always going to be an anxiety in life because nothing in life is guaranteed. And life within itself is very risky. Good to see you back, Wiz. Good to see you, John. Life within itself is very risky. I mean, in one sense, it feels like, life drags on because, we're never going to die, or, when you're young, you're bulletproof. But in reality is, I mean, you can get hit by a car, you could have a heart attack. Anything can happen at any time, even if you feel very safe. So there is always going to be a level of anxiety in life, a level of emotional pain in life, because again, life itself is risk. And many people have so much anxiety that they are a prisoner to their house because they realize every time they leave their house, there's anxiety. You know, there's a heavy anxiety when they get up in the morning because going to work is scary. And so that anxiety keeps a lot of people paralyzed from going to work. That's why I often tell you, if you can develop a habit in life of just showing up, whether it's your job, your side hustle, whatever in life, you will go further than most people, because most people can't get past that emotional pain, that frustration, that fear of the unknown. And so, but I'm thinking about separation anxiety tonight as I get ready to make my journey back down south, um, to Florida, and separate from my mother. My mother's getting old, and I see that. And, I don't know. You feel an anxiety. You feel mixed emotions. I did that last year. I did a video when I left New Jersey last year. That even then, you always feel a separation when you leave people and situations that you know. Is it fear? For me, it's not really fear, because I've already done it multiple times, and I've kind of lived my life the way I live it for a long time. So I can't say it's fear, but I can acknowledge the honest reality of an anxiety of separating yourself from someone you love, whether it's a family member, a lover, or whatever it is. It's easy to get people in your life, hard to get them out. I'm not trying to get my mom out of my life, but that's why I always tell you, be cautious on relationships. Be cautious on letting someone live with you. If you see someone destitute and you want to help them, you may be better off to set them up in a private place to live. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because it's very hard to separate yourself from people once they embedded in your life. Now, certainly, if you have a good mother, if you have, good people, you don't want to separate yourself, but there's a level of your journey you have to walk alone. I have a sister, she doesn't separate herself from my mother because she has an anxiety of working, of living her best life, and she blames my mom for not living her best life. But my mom can only do so much because as an adult, you have to go out there and feel the separation anxiety and build your own life. And it's just the way it is. There's a dynamic there that growth and living your best life almost requires a level of separation. It may not be the point of separation of changing states. You may be able to still live in the same town as your parent. I'm just using an example here in my life that you have to separate yourself, and you have to face that real fear of nothing stays the same, of people can die, of things can happen while you're out in the world. But the opposite of what I've seen in my own personal experience, if you are unwilling to face that anxiety and make your way in life, you're going to become resentful. You're not going to take care of yourself well, and you're going to blame someone else for your lack of enjoyment of life. You know, and life can already suck. So when you build all that upon yourself, that's when you get really nasty. And do I have some really nasty family members? Yeah, I don't judge them, but I'm sharing with you guys some lessons here. You can't get around separation anxiety, you know, and even with dogs, there was a myth, in my opinion, it's a myth. I think it's bad advice. There's a that says if your dog has high anxiety, get another dog. In my opinion, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. In my opinion, I think that's BS. You know, I think if you're in a situation where you have to leave your dog for your job or for whatever, the last thing you need to do is put more responsibility on yourself and on that household to add another dog or another pet, because pets are like children. You know, when I go see my mom, that's what we talk about. You know, it's like, you know, you got to have the time, the money, and the energy to take care of a pet. They're like children. We love dogs. Always grew up with dogs. So, you know, you don't want to have another child because your child's having separation anxiety, in my opinion. Too much stress, because the more stress in the household, the more anxiety. And then you got to leave two dogs. Do dogs keep each other company? I think there's more competition. You know, I think the same thing with siblings a lot of times. Sure, there's some good siblings out there, but look, you know, you got to be cautious. You got to be cautious who you take advice from. And you got to be cautious how much you put on your plate, because life is hard enough. You know, I have it easy here. I don't have any kids. I could kind of like go and come and go as I please. I had a dog for a while. It was like having a kid. But even like this small little thing that I'm facing here now tonight, as I, you know, separation anxiety from, you know, leaving my mom, leaving, again, the state that I was in for a few weeks now, a couple months. And this is the feeling. And I mean, I leave my mind open to change, because, you know, I'll do whatever I feel is best. If I wanted to stay here for a year, I'd stay here for a year. But I want to at least make this video to acknowledge this emotion, okay? Anxiety. It keeps people from going to work. It keeps people from going out there and living their best life. But it doesn't keep people from dying. It doesn't keep life from sucking. Life doesn't suck 100%. There's some good parts about life. So you have to figure it out for you. You know, the answer isn't just travel nonstop. You know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, it's not about me saying what the answer is, because even me, I kind of trying to always refine that. The answer is acknowledging in life there's a need for separation. And if you don't separate yourself sometimes from certain family members or friends, you suffer even more. You suffer even more when you refuse to separate yourself, because believe me, you have to separate yourself, definitely, at times, from family members and friends. There's definitely a season that you have to walk alone. Definitely. Anxiety keeps people in relationships too long. And then anxiety turns to stress, and then it turns to anger, and then it turns to bad things. So I just wanted to share that tonight, because it's a very real thing. And I think that's one of the hardest things about living on the road, is that, you know, well, I don't know. If my mom wasn't alive, you know, I don't really, to me, I wouldn't even be phased. I probably would already be in Florida. And I'm thankful that my mom is alive, and I'm thankful to spend time with her. So, but I'm trying to, you know, analyze my mind, you know, in, you know, how I feel. But again, you have to understand, the way I choose to live, it doesn't mean it's the way you choose to live. Thank you, John. Thank you, David. The way I choose to live is I don't want a family. I don't want kids. I don't want pets anymore. I'm not saying that's the way you should choose. I'm just sharing my life. So I'm saying, being that I choose to live that way, if my mom wasn't alive, she's the only person I'm really, I would say, fully attached to. I still have people I care about in my life. But I said, outside of that, I wouldn't even think twice. And I'd be fine with it. I'd be happy. And I was determined too last year and the year before to really get down to Florida, and I still am. Like I said, I don't even know if I'd be up here this long if it wasn't for my mom. But either way, it's that's the price that you pay when you entangle yourself with people. It's not always a bad thing because you can live on the road or you can live a simple life and you can save money, and I think you should do that. I think there's two major things that cause stress. Number one is relationships. Number one is money. So I acknowledge that you need to live below your means. You need to make an income. Why? Because you want less stress. But the number one cause of stress is relationships. So you really have to be cautious on who you're going to entangle yourself with in relationships. I'm not saying you should never entangle yourself, but every relationship is an entanglement. Friends with benefits is a big myth. Just like buying another dog is a myth, in my opinion. Why? Because I've lived both lives. I remember when I was thinking about buying a home base, and I may eventually, I think about that sometimes, down in Florida, RV lot. I remember one of my viewers at that time, I don't even know if they still watch my videos. They said, Sam, do you really want to buy a property? Because once you buy a property, you're entangled with it. And that was the first time I heard that word associated with buying a property. I said, it like kind of struck me. I said, wow. I said, that's an accurate word to describe buying property. I know because I owned a piece of property before for 15 years. And I thought about that word entanglement. I think that's a powerful word, guys. Entanglement brings anxiety for me. It's commitment. Not that I'm scared of commitment, but when you feel like you can't get out of something, like you're stuck, something bothers me. That's why I don't wear underwear. But what I want to share with you tonight is, again, life itself is risky. Life itself has anxiety no matter what. I think you should spend quality time. Shout out to the group High Five in the 90s. They had a song called Quality Time. Now, that was about romance, but I think you should spend quality time with people you love, because I think that does matter. I think that's a whole life to have some people, not a lot. I think some true people, you're blessed if you have a few that you love, and spend time on them. Just like, some things you should spend money on. You live below your means, but there's some enjoyments of life you should enjoy the fruits of your labor. You spend money on some things and you spend your time on some things. Things that matter. And things that you enjoy. Because you got to enjoy life a little bit, guys. You don't want life to be a whole 80 years of Weight Watchers. Some of you big people out there, and I understand it, you're on Weight Watchers and you're still, eating a lot after the weigh-in day. Because why? Because you don't want to live your whole life on Weight Watchers, guys. Weight Watchers food, come on, guys. Now, I'm eating plant-based, but you know what I mean. I just had like 3 Jolly Ranchers. A lot of people on that keto diet, man. That keto diet's a scam. I love every one of you guys. I know you're out there. I love you. Keto diet, just like eating all fat. Is that healthy? I don't think so. But who am I to judge? But what I can tell you is this, guys. That's what I want to share. I appreciate it if you click that thumbs up button, share the video. We'll read all the live comments now. Let me know, man, if you're watching live or on a replay. Do you ever feel separation anxiety? How do you deal with it? Let's see who's on there. Snow Panther, good to see you again. Backwoods, good to have you back, brother. My man John, shout out to the Northeast. It's getting cold, guys, in the Northeast. I always say 50 degrees Fahrenheit to me is the line in the red sand, or the line, whatever. The line in the sand, the red line, so to speak. Once you get below 50 degrees Fahrenheit during the day as the high, if the high is below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you're screwed. You're basically going to be able to do nothing. You have to walk in a mall or walk in a shopping center. That's what I had to do a little bit today. Now, it was barely above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And the sun was out a little bit. But next week, at the end of the week in New Jersey, the highs will be in the high 40s. And that's when I got to get the hell out of Dodge, guys. There ain't no separation anxiety coming there. I'll still feel pain. I don't even. I'm still thinking I'm going to leave this weekend. I don't know. I just. We'll see. I'm still collecting my thoughts. I didn't want to leave tonight because I'm tired, and I don't want to drive. I don't want to push it. I don't need to push it. Driving's very dangerous. But what I can tell you is this, guys: the weather matters to me. The heat, the sun. That's why I moved to Florida. I mean, I talked to my mom today, and I was telling her. She was asking me, what am I going to do? I said, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And she said, well, I understand that, you need to go to Florida because it's what's best for you, what your mind and how you like to live life. She understands. I can't deal with the cold weather anymore, man. I just don't want to deal with it. And I want to see my brother John down there in Stuart, Florida, man. Backwoods, what's up, man? Zelda, hey, Zelda. Hey, palm tree emoji. Shout out to all my Floridians. Shout out to all my Floridians out there, especially my South Floridians. South Florida. I love South Florida, guys. I'm coming home. The ETA is still in question yet, but I'll be home very soon. South Florida is the closest thing you're going to get to heaven, guys. Unless you're at an all-night gas station, then welcome to hell. Marcos, what's up, Sam? How are you doing, my buddy? I'm doing the best I can. I have a lot to be thankful for, and I have to keep my mind focused on that. Because the mind does want to think about what could be better. But I have to. I mean, I got a lot to be thankful for, and I am thankful. I want to be thankful. How are you? Love from Tuscan, man. Well, shout out to Arizona, guys. They don't have an ocean, but they got a lot of sun. Arizona has the most sunlight percentage-wise in the entire United States, more than Florida. Even though Florida is called the Sunshine State, actually Arizona has more sunshine. But they got no ocean, just dirt and cactuses. But I love you, man. Shout out to Arizona. Love to you, Marcos. No man life. Backwoods. Name change, laughing. Good info. Things are constantly changing, so you have to adapt on the fly. That's right. The number one book I would recommend, Who Moved My Cheese? If you're going to buy it on Amazon using my link. Thank you. Backwoods, no man life. David, what's up, brother? Phone emoji. You can always stay in touch phone. Yes, technology is good, and even nowadays, with a phone, you can actually video conference. You can iChat or you could Uvu, Skype someone, and I think that's a great asset to keeping in touch with people. Now, my mom has like one of those old school flip phones. Why? Because she's old, man, and it's just tough for her to adapt to it. I keep trying to get her a smartphone, but she's not ready to budge because as you get older, you don't want to adapt as much. But, that's the blessing, yes. If you can video chat, it's a little bit more comfort to see your loved one each day. When I used to go to work, when my dog was still alive, like wireless internet cameras just came on the market. And I had an internet camera in my dog's room. I would watch her from my office on my laptop. And that made me feel a little bit better. John, you're a good dude. Same to you, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for sharing. We all appreciate it. And I appreciate you right back, man. Love to you, brother. Love to you, man. I want to see you in Stuart one day. Carol, we are thankful you are alive. I'm thankful for you as well. And we're thankful that you share your time with us. It's a two-way street. So I appreciate you too, Carol. Thank you for the positive comments. Backwoods. That's how I feel too, Sam. Thank you for sharing that. Single for life. I'm definitely on that. Backwoods. I want to control my time. I agree with that. In my life, I can understand that. Not let others do it for me. 100 emoji. I agree with that. Zelda. I'm out east, Sam. Not bad yet. Well, you're out of Florida? You're not in Florida? Carol, I agree, Sam. The keto diet is totally unhealthy, in my opinion. Now, if the keto diet helps you to be a little bit healthier, then anything that can help you step forward, I'm with you and I support. I understand the food struggle, guys. I was morbidly obese. I mean, even now, I'm moderately overweight, but I mean, come on, I'm probably in better shape than you eating the keto diet. What I can tell you is this, guys. I know the food struggle is real. I had my mom's sister died of obesity. My mom struggled with food her whole life, so I don't fat shame, okay? But look, guys, we have to call it how it is. The keto diet, I mean, it's a total disaster. Let's be honest. You're eating all those fatty foods, and, your body's basically killing itself. I don't even care if you lose a little bit of weight initially. Not good. You got to have a somewhat balanced diet, but I understand if you got to do what's best for you, whoever likes it, but I love you. Plant-based is the way to go. Yep. Now, you got to be careful with the plant-based. I had an Indian friend, and we used to chop it up, and he says, Sam, a lot of Indian culture is vegetarian. And I said, well, I seen your uncle big as hell. I said, your aunt too? And he started laughing. He said, well, a lot of the Indians, we still cooking the oil. Oil is like liquid fat. Okay. So if you're on a plant-based diet and you're eating a lot of oil and a lot of sugar, guys, you'll still be fat. So a plant-based diet is wisdom, but you got to avoid the oils and you got to avoid excess sugar. Now you got to have some. Why? Because you don't want to, you want to enjoy life a little bit, but you got to be cautious, okay, of the oils and the fats. Good job, backwoods. Relationships, money, and people in general give you the most stress and anxiety. It's true. In my being alone because you control your environment and you truly want to do. Don't compromise, do you? I agree. Now, once in a while, I do enjoy to call a friend. I have a couple, not many, a couple literally, that I call and I share my life with. It may be like once a month or so, but it's therapeutic. And it's helpful to know, again, you're lucky if you have, friends that you can count on one hand. And I probably have a couple. And I don't see them. They know who I am. They know that I don't like to be around people, but like I know, if I really needed to talk something out, I could call them. And even if I was in a real emergency, I could reach out to them. And that's a blessing. So I do value healthy relationships, but healthy relationships are hard to find, and you still have to have your personal space, and they have to understand that, and vice versa. And he goes, yep, I totally agree. Subject Zero, what's up, man? I prefer the Beto diet, never heard of that, to the keto diet. It's a sham. Beto dropped out of the race. Oh, that's the joke? I don't even know what Beto means, man. Good to see you, brother. Backwoods. Family and relationships, period, are nice to have if you're a lonely kind of person. Yeah, now look, most people are social, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming social people, just like I don't shame fat people. I don't shame anyone, guys. I just kind of share. Sometimes I'm having fun, whatever. The majority of society is tribal, okay? The human race is tribal. It's group, pack orientated. Why? Some of it is because that's just a personality. Some of it is for survival. And that's the vast majority. That religion is tribalism. Groups like the VFW, tribalism. There's a lot of different things that are pack thinking. The RTR, tribalism. They even say, come join the tribe. There's a value in community, but most people need community on an everyday in and out and basis. There's, like I say, 1% of society live full-time as a nomad. That's why I don't reach the masses. Okay. Like someone said the other day, Sam, you're almost at 10,000 subs. I say, yeah, but my average video, only 400 people watch it. So, that's about, 1 to 5% of my subscribers watch my videos. Why? Because people may see me, talking about living in my car, masturbating in a sock, living below my means, and I may inspire them. So they hit the sub button, but they're not checking for me every day. Why? I mean, they look at a guy living in his car, talking in his phone, like a novelty, like a whoopee cushion. A whoopee cushion was like a plastic thing, it makes a farting noise. You would give it to someone as a gag joke. So a lot of people may appreciate me and got love for me, but it's still a very small percentage of people, because very small percentage of people can kind of I guess relate or have the similar mindset. So 1% of people live in their cars, and a smaller percentage of society are loners. Now some loners are psychopaths. That's why originally my channel would just attract psychopaths, and I had to tell them look, I'm not your therapist, okay? I mean, if you're a psychopath, guys, you got to go get help, okay? Look, because if you come too close to me, I'm going to taser the shit out of you. Why? Because, guys, I need my space. All right. Let's take hydration break. And let's. Earnhardt, what's up, man? What's up, Sam? Good to see you, brother. Earnhardt, I'm planning on moving from Minnesota to California. That sounds better. Not sure if I want to live on the road or rent an apartment. I can understand living on the road is not for most people, and I don't blame you at all. Do your research, and I support you. Just don't know how to sleep legally every night and maintain an office job. Not easy. I did it for about 1.5 years. Not easy. I sacrificed. I got sick, and it was a challenge. A lot of moving. And the amount of money I spent in gas and wear and tear, it could be debated. It probably could have rented a room cheaper, but I don't want to live with people. I don't want to deal with a landlord, and I don't want to deal with a mortgage. I want to be detached. So I was even willing to spend the equivalent of renting a room because I value being detached. And I'm willing to deal with psychopaths at the all-night gas station. Why? Because I rather that, a psychopath that I could start my car and go get away from, or a psychopath I could taser the shit out of in self-defense, rather than a roommate. Because you can't taser a roommate and then go sleep. You know what I mean? Because that's where you sleep. So I'd rather taser somebody like in the middle of and then get out of there. So I don't want to taser anyone, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, I don't want to live with people. Good job. Backwards. I wouldn't recommend avoiding human interactions because I think it's healthy. Thank you, Sammy. Got love for you, brother. Man-o-matic, man. Shout out to Tallahassee, brother. Good to see you. Tallahassee, and I appreciate you, man. Heart emoji to you, man. The green one. I like that. Like the green Jolly Ranchers. I like that too. I don't like the blue Jolly Ranchers. We'll put them on a keto diet. Line up. Putting Christmas lights up. You working hard, man. I can't wait to see the Christmas lights on the palm trees and on the boats. It's something special. It's special to be down in Florida during Christmas. 80 degrees during the day and 60 degrees at night. Whew, very nice. Thursday, set up display. Busy all this week. I'm proud of you, Lila. Good to see you. We're praying for your friend. Backwoods, plant-based. You know what it is, 100. Backwoods. Some fats are good for you. That's true. Like avocados. Avocados are probably the best fats. A lot walnuts, things like that. Not greasy-ass barbecue chicken, even though I like that. But not greasy-ass barbecue chicken and ribs. I see a lot of you guys eating on the keto diet. Okay, that's still bad for you. But I'm not mad at you. Try to justify it. Erhart, I highly recommend Arnold Ertz Musculus Diet Healing System. Guys, if you can't pronounce it, I don't recommend it. Why? Because it sounds like you're trying to sell a book and sell you a diet. But I ain't mad at you because if you go buy the book, buy it on my Amazon link because I'm a capitalist too. Mucus-free foods are key. Many fruits. I love you, brother. Eat clean. I'm with you. They're called whole foods for a reason. I agree with that. Whole foods are anything that's not processed. So like a banana, if you put it in a blender, which I used to like to make banana shakes, you put it in a blender, you process that banana, you break it away from its fibers. And then that's a lot of fat people thought like they would juice their way to health. But when you juice, all you do is get the sugars out of the fruits and you take away the fibers and the nutrients. And then all you're left with is the sugary part of the fruit. And that's why a lot of fat people never turn a corner. They got like the bullet juicer, but they big ass. It's hard to lose weight, guys. I'm starting to shame people. I don't want to shame people, but you got to do your research. Got to eat whole foods. That's true. African Amazing. Good to see you. Love to you. Backwoods. I hear you, Sam. Thank you for sharing and showing up every day. Thank you for appreciating me. Jones, what's up, Jones? Hey, Sam. Glad to catch you live. Thank you for your comment today. Thank you for still hanging with me. Earnhardt, do you call a Walmart for permission before parking there? No. I'll look online sometimes, and I'll do my research, and I'll look in the parking lot. I'm usually on there for one night. If it's suspect, then I may, but normally I won't. Especially now, I kind of know my way around the areas I go through trial and error. And now that I got the 1,000 Trails Pass, that supplements some of my parking. Which again, I recommend for any nomad. If you're going to be in areas that 1,000 Trails has campgrounds, become a tent camper. You don't have to sleep there every night, but if you stay 3 weeks, that pays for the entire year's worth of camping. Jones, when my mind projects into the future, causing anxiety, I agree. Yeah, when you think about the future and what could happen, and a lot of bad can happen. You got to take life one day at a time. I stop and tell myself that today I am okay. There you go. And I remember things I'm grateful for. I like that attitude, Jones. Gratitude is one of the best weapons we have to hold our sanity. Backwoods. I honestly would never live in California. Taxes, laws, and people there are outrageous. Avoid. Well, I would because there's a lot of jobs. If there's higher taxes, there's usually better jobs, and it's all in relation. So if you live a place where there's low taxes, there's usually a lower pay scale. Like Florida has lower taxes, but on average, the pay scale is 25 to 30% lower than New Jersey. So there's more, so like you don't want to have low taxes but make low wages because then you're still netting not the same. So that's why a lot of people make their money in liberal states such as like California, New Jersey, and then they move to southern states that are conservative in taxes because they made their money in liberal states and now they want to live off the interest of their investments. So that's the whole game. But at the end of the day, everyone should do whatever they want because everyone likes to live a certain way. So if people hate California, Then there's 50 other states. We're blessed in America that you have 50 states to choose from. It's like having 50 children, but you don't have to take care of them. And they all have their different personality. So you get to go to whatever one of the 50 states that you best like, that fits your personality, that fits your financial situation. But you have to separate from the state you're at. And a lot of people hate their state, but they're scared to leave the people and the things they know behind. So they stay in the parking lot and they curse their state. And I even feel that now. Now, again, I have no problem leaving my state because I already did it. But I felt the separation anxiety. And if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be back up here. But if it wasn't for New Jersey, I wouldn't have a good career. Because you could be a hard worker, but if you're not in an area where there's a lot of job opportunities, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Okay. So you just have to remember to take all those things in perspective. And then again, it's an individual thing because we're all different. African American, laughing. Sam, I like the Blue Jolly Ranch as well. I hope you're not on the keto diet because now we're going to break up, but I love you. Broad Street Bloke, what's up, man? Was wondering, are tasers legal? It depends which state you live in. Just like we were talking about with taxes and jobs, all depends the state. Like Florida, guns and tasers, no problem on average. You do your own research. But like when I drive up to New Jersey, I got to be careful what I carry with me, guns or tasers, because New Jersey is very not friendly to those things, and there's different requirements. So, again, I try to keep some of my information private, but I do believe in self-defense. But what I can tell you is it all depends what state you live in, because again, even though America is governed by the federal government, each state, there's 50 different states. Each state is kind of like its own country within the country. So it has different rules and laws that even though the federal government oversees it, each state has different laws within itself. So it all depends on the state. And I don't know each state to give you enough information, but that kind of gives you the general mindset. Florida, pretty, easier and easier to have a gun, easier to have a taser, but also there's more bad stuff happening too. So it's all relative, right? Like, easier to have a gun, easier to have a taser. And that's why you always see things on Florida, people getting shot. When I was down there, a couple people, even in nice neighborhoods, got laid down. So, the counter debate is, yeah, I mean, in inner cities, there could be just as much, but it's all relative. But the bottom line is, like I said, I don't promote violence. I promote walking away and calling the authorities. I'm just saying, like, if I'm backed into a corner, I'm just going to self-defense, but I don't want any problems. I don't want any conflict. I don't preach you to do that because I've seen the reality of it, and it's not nice. Let's continue. Jones, just eat healthy and watch your calorie intake. Well, that's the hardest part. I agree. And walk. I agree with that advice. That's sound advice. Treat yourself once in a while, whatever you want. I agree with that too. When I got anorexic, even though I had nice cheekbones and I even had like a little bit of a 4-pack, I've never been chiseled. I'm still wasn't chiseled. But when I was basically anorexic, you could almost like see my bones. And it felt good to fit in like any clothes I wanted. But at the same time, it's bitter. You're not as happy when you don't have any sugar in your body. Now, I know some of you people with sugar diabetes, like, yeah, you better preach that. I mean, you got to cut down a little bit on sugar, right? But you got to find some level of balance. But there's times in life where you get extreme. Red Line Max, good to see you again, Sam. Always good to see you. Thank you. Hope all is well. I appreciate that. Backwoods, 1,000-mile trail pass. Well, yeah, definitely, because you're from Oregon and Northwest. The Northwest and California have a lot of 1,000 Trails campgrounds. Now, Florida does too, but a lot of them are in the Encore parks. So again, you have to look at the state you're in and then go to the 1,000 Trails website. But and then it'll show you like where the campgrounds are. Yeah, but if you're in the Northwest, it's a no-brainer. Definitely get it, in my opinion. Lila, Lifestyle Christmas Light Show, people 1 million. Lila, you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. African Amazing laughing. Thank you. Backwoods, I understand what you're saying, bro. But California is so messed up in many ways. There's so many people that moved here to Washington State and Oregon to run from California's problems. Yeah, and I don't know. Like, to me, there was a lot of people that bitch and moan about New Jersey, and they moved to different places too. So I look at them like a complainer. Because look, guys, I live wherever. Like, if I had to, I live in New Jersey. Why did I move to Florida? It's got nothing to do with politics. It's got everything to do with weather and climate and culture. So for me, this is my opinion. Those people that complain about, like, they're just complainers. They're nasty people no matter where they go. Because for me, again, like, I don't, but everyone's different too. I'm not going to say like they're wrong. For them, they don't like California, but the majority of people love California. And that's why more people move to California than Idaho or Oregon, because there's more jobs, there's better weather, there's more going on. Not everyone likes it. So the same thing with Florida. Like, a lot of people go down there because there's low taxes, better weather, but it's too hot. So then a lot of people leave it. So it's individual, but I'm not mad at people. Like I said, that's what makes the world go round. If everyone liked Florida, then the world wouldn't go round. It'd be too crowded. If everyone liked Oregon, then you'd be pissed because you'd have no private time in the campground. So if everyone liked Latino MILFs, guys, I wouldn't be cleaning up shop. So every time like someone says, Sam, I don't like Asian girls, I said, well, that's more for me. Okay. So remember, when someone doesn't like what you like, it's not a bad thing. It just means it's more for you. And that's a good thing. Praise the Lord. Backwoods. I wouldn't lie to you, brother. I got love for you. I understand. Buck, what's up, man? South Florida house. I did a DoorDash today, guys. I DoorDashed in New Jersey because I wanted to do it once before I leave because I wanted to get a feel for it. I got one delivery tonight. Now, it wasn't a populated area. I did it for about an hour, and then the order stopped coming SI. I did one delivery, $12.15 for about 10 miles. Okay. $8 base pay and $4 tip. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. So it was interesting. I still enjoy to DoorDash more in South Florida. Why? Because, like, South Florida, I'm driving around. I'm zipping around beautiful areas, hot, nice. Got my sunroof down, Sade on. Up here, man, not the same DoorDash, and a whole different feel. But I just want all you guys to know out there, when you travel, you can easily DoorDash from anywhere. Just turn on the app and make it happen. And then Buck says, yo, Sam, just bought a rifle. Easy out there, killer. AK-47. And so outrageous, brother. If you don't have a job and if you're still living with your parents, you shouldn't have an AK-47. I'm being honest with you. Now, I know you got AK-47 and now you're mad at me, but don't forget, I believe in self-defense too. But what I can tell you is this. If you don't have a career and if you're still living with your parents, you shouldn't have an AK-47. Why? Because you got bigger problems. You got to find a career and you got to get your life going. You shouldn't be arming yourself up, man. I love you, brother, but that's a disaster. But Porter, no one will ever come in my happy home. Well, no one's going to come in your room, but your mom is eventually going to knock on your door and say, look, stop masturbating so loud. And then you're going to basically lock and load on your mom. And then it's going to be one of those Florida news stories that everyone says, oh, all the psychopaths are in Florida. And what can I do? I'm trying to defend you, and you're over here proving a point. So, brother, let's keep it positive, man. Get yourself a taser and start DoorDashing. Or Hart, I don't know, backwoods. You're really negative towards Cali. Let's stay positive. I personally love the vibe there. Different strokes, different folks, guys. More California for you. Who says you got to be in the middle of a big city? I agree. California's a big state. I agree with that. So is Florida. Look, guys, Boca Raton is one style. You can go to Okeechobee, Florida. Totally different style. So, guys, let's stay positive. Milano, keep my spot, baby. I'm coming down there, man. Got to clean up shop down there with my MILFs. I love you, brother. Shout out to you and Emilio. Marcos. I'm on a diet, Sam. Love to you, brother. I've lost 41 pounds in 3 months. There's 2 phases of losing weight. The first is losing weight. The second is building a lifestyle that you can sustain it off. Because that's why I got anorexic. Because I lost like 100 pounds. And I kept losing weight. And then I was scared to eat food because I didn't want to backslide. So once in a while, I would totally just give in to the urge, and I'll be backsliding in the parking lot of Popeye's fried chicken. And I'd have a 12-piece, I slam it down my neck, but then I wouldn't eat for like 2 days. So I was trying to find the balance. So just remember that there's 2 parts of losing weight. The initial part and then building a lifestyle to sustain it off. And he goes, my only weakness is alcohol. Well, I used to wonder that. I used to see guys I worked with, they had a fat-ass belly. And I said, how do they have a fat belly? He never eats lunch. He never eats anything. I didn't know. Alcohol gives you a big belly and bloats up your face. That's why a lot of people, they smoke cigarettes and they drink alcohol. They got a belly. They're unhealthy as hell, but they never eat. So guys, there's the top 3 causes of preventable deaths in America are this. Number 1 is tobacco. Tobacco kills more people than anything else. Number 2 is obesity-related diseases. Okay. And number 3, I believe, is alcohol. So if you stop smoking, if you stop eating the greasy chicken, and if you stop alcohol, you're going to extend your life. But here's the negative about that. I remember losing a bunch of weight and like changing my lifestyle. And a friend of mine said, Sam, you just added 10 years to your life. And I looked at him like, oh shit, did I want to do that? Because I don't know how long I want to live down here, guys. I mean, that's the truth. Now, I don't want to, die early or suffer, but you know what I'm saying. So you have to enjoy life a little bit. Now, Warren Buffett's got that statement like, look, if you ask me, would I trade a couple years of my life to eat some things I enjoy? He goes, yeah, I can understand that. Now, that guy rich as hell, so, he don't care either. But I understand we all have weaknesses, brother. I want to quit drinking, but I feel like my life will be so much boring without booze. I felt the same way about cigarettes, but now, I felt the same way about cigarettes, but now I don't even enjoy to smell them. So, I remember that. I remember that when I'm scared to separate myself from something. I remember saying, I don't want to stop smoking cigarettes because I can't enjoy life without them. I can't enjoy my coffee, my beverage, whatever. And eventually, I just felt it was too unhealthy for me. And it took a lot of ups and downs to get past that hurdle. Very tough to beat cigarettes. And what I can tell you is now I hate cigarettes. I don't want to be around them. I don't have any desire for them. But that took years of up and down. So I totally understand the struggle. And I totally understand why some people is very hard to beat. I understand it. I understand it completely. Thank you for sharing. Earnhardt, Marcos, drink when you're happy, not when you're sad. In my opinion, don't drink at all. I tried just smoking cigarettes and partying on the weekends. Total disaster. And this is my opinion. And same thing with your food. When you're ready to get your stuff together, you guys got maybe initially just start cutting some things out, but then you got to get intense and cut everything out. Not easy. Milano, same heat record, 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I looked at the weather forecast. It's going to start to drop down next week, but we're still a little hot down there. Thank you, Milano, for the update. Backwoods, keep it positive. That's right. Done talking about California. Shaking my head. I got love for you, man. Man, you got to have a MILF to clean those dirty socks. No, I don't. All I got to do is have enough coins for the laundry mat, brother. So let me tell you, because then you got to deal with a MILF and you got to deal with dirty laundry. You think your MILF's going to do your dirty laundry? You never dated a MILF. And what I can tell you is this, man, Tim Tebow done lied to you. So, brother, get you some coins and go to laundry mat. You don't want to buy a MILF just to get a sock cleaner. I love you, brother. Stay positive. Shout out to Tallahassee. Earnhardt. 38 degrees Fahrenheit in Minnesota. Don't let Trump hear that. He's still mad at that one Congress lady you got up there. Buck Porter. Trump changed his residency from New York to Florida, probably for tax reasons. But again, Donald Trump is from New York City, okay? His the Trump Towers, which I've been to, is right across the street from Central Park, okay? So he made his billions living in New York City. And now he's going to change his residence to a tax-friendly conservative state. Why? Because he made his money. So make a mental note. All right? But took 2 years in this whole cold, calling and 2 months testing one guy, cut today because he failed. I lost you on that one, brother. All I can tell you is don't get locked up for anyone. If you're in a bad neighborhood, man, start your car and go. But I don't want... I know a couple friends got caught up, man. Be careful. Jones, Marcos, I used to think that way too. I have 16 years being sober. I can tell you your life will not be boring. Good comment. One day at a time. I'll never forget, I was in an AA thing for one of my family members who was strung out on drugs. And there was a guy who was in the AA meeting. He said, I've been sober for 30 years. I looked at this guy, I was young as hell. I said, why is this guy in the AA meeting? He's been sober for 30 years. I thought, why would you even come back to this thing? And what he said kind of hit a chord. He said, but I know that I'm one drink away from being an alcoholic. Damn it, Earnhardt, thank you. He goes, I'm one drink away from being an alcoholic. He goes, so I have to remember to take life one day at a time. So then it kind of registered with me. He didn't get prideful in his sobriety. Now, I'm not saying you should keep going to meetings for 30 years after you're sober. That's up to you. But I respected his urgency towards him being sober and how easy any of us can backslide. So what I can tell you is this, one day at a time, just like he said. Earnhardt, thank you for that super chat, brother. I appreciate that, man. Love to you. Let's continue. Venomatic, Millsock Life. I love you, brother. Milano, Sammy, every 40 seconds, someone gets a heart attack. It's true, guys. My man John Witherspoon died this week, 77. cardiac issues, man. The average life expectancy is it's 76 for males, 78 for females. I just rounded up to 80. So guys, just for round numbers sake, take the number 80, then minus how old you are. On average, that's how many years you got left. Backwards, at her heart. Yes, the vibe is nice and the weather is nice in California, but that's all. Now, don't forget, backwards, you're going to Alaska. Not too many people like Alaska, man. And Alaska's got a socialist program. It's got the petroleum dividend. That means the oil companies give a percentage of their profits to all the residents. That's very socialism. So shout out to them, and I love you. K Ford, shout out to Jacksonville, brother. Shout out to my guy. I'll be down there soon. Now, Jacksonville's my first stop. Why? Because that's the north part of the state. I love you, brother. Good to see you, K Ford. Love to you, man. Thank you, Damn it, Jones. $5 super chat. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I love you guys, man. I appreciate that. Let's take a hydration break. And I love everyone on live chat. I don't care what you do out there, as long as you're not killing someone on purpose. I love you guys. Let's stay positive. Thank you. Back to backwards. It's a different country there, enough said. Backwards. Trump did good by switching to Florida because he seen Sam's live. Hey, I'm not mad at him. He's the capital. I'm not mad. Backwards, life is good. Compass, thank you again, Earhart. Love to you, brother. Love to you, man. Backwards. I hope Trump wins again. I hear you, brother. I'm not mad. Just to piss everyone off. Wow, I would hope that you hope he wins to do good for the country, man. I would hope that you believe in, we want everyone, we want society to go forward together. But, I can understand a lot of people just do it out of spite. That's not me, though. I'll vote for him if I think he's the best one. But if I don't think he's the best one, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm going to wait and see. So many haters. The guy has so many good president value. Did you say that about Obama when he tripled the stock market? Did you know Obama tripled the stock market? Did you know Obama caught Osama bin Laden? So Trump doubles the stock market. He captures some ISIS guy you never heard of. You think he's the best president ever. Did you say that President Obama, when he tripled the stock market and when he caught Osama bin Laden, did you say the same thing? If you didn't, then you're unfair in your evaluation. And then that goes back to why we started beefing back in the day. But I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to block you because you like Trump. I'm just saying that I have to speak my piece. There's a double-edged sword if you're saying that, you're saying he's a great president. Then what are you measuring him by? The stock market? Then Obama did the same thing. Are you measuring him by defense? Because Obama caught Osama. So I don't know what you're measuring by. You got to tell me. K Ford, love to you, man. Appreciate that. Backwards. The guy ain't perfect, but he's a damn good leader. What you talking about, Obama or Trump? Always pointing out fake news, I agree. Fake news is a disaster. I agree with that. But I remember, he's a hypocrite too, right? Because again, when the stock market doubled under Obama, he didn't say nothing. When Obama caught bin Laden, he said you shouldn't be bragging about the military did it. You didn't. Look, he's a better salesman. Trump is a better salesman, and Obama pandered a little bit, and Hillary Clinton was a disaster. So I do acknowledge that Trump has done some good things. Because again, I would vote for him if it's like between him and someone bad from the Democrat. I'll vote for him. I don't care. But I don't kiss his ass. I didn't kiss Obama's ass either. There was things when I disagree with him too. Especially after every shooting, he would say gun control, gun control. Now, I don't believe Buck Porter should be able to get an AK-47, off GP. I believe he should definitely have a very extensive background check. But you understand what I'm saying? I think they pulled that too long too. Buck, you missed my last comment. Damn it, Buck. I'm sorry, man. You got me all upset with the AK-47 thing. Let me see what you said. I'll go back. Where was Buck? I saw Buck said, the 2 years thing, got failed. I read that. Brother. I got you. It took 2 years in a crap hole, calling out 2 months testing. One guy got cut today because he failed. What does that mean? I love you, brother. K Ford. Not going to ask to meet up. I love you, man. It would be a total disaster. That's true. We both like our solitude, but we both can show love and respect. I have a couple friends that I don't see them pretty much ever. I used to back in the day, and they know me, and we respect each other. So I respect you, you respect me, we vibe with each other, and I appreciate you, and it's a mutual thing. But I just need my own space. But I love you, brother, and you know that. Thank you. Jones, 1963. I actually caught you live, so yay. But Sam, can you read my other long comment? That's the only one I see. I'm sorry, Buck. I don't see the other one. Retype it because it's not coming up on my computer screen. I love you, man. Backwoods. I work in Alaska because of the money. I'm not mad at you. And I work so hard, it feels like you work hard. Like 70 degrees. I'm not mad at you. Seriously, not cold at all. Backwoods, I got love for you, brother. I don't care who you vote for or what you like. We're sharing. Like I say, I don't want you to change. I don't want you to vote for Hillary just because I voted for her. I want you to love Trump. But like I said, I'm going to speak my piece too. Now, if we can go back and forth as long as we don't disrespect each other. So, but that's all. Like, I don't want you to change. I don't want to change. If we can coexist without having to taser one another, then it's love. Okay. But don't forget, guys. All right, let's stay positive. All right, Sam, why don't you work remote with Wi-Fi in your vehicle? I'm not as productive. I need to, I have certain tasks that I'm measured by, I have to do. So for me, now, if I was in a pinch, I could. But for me, I need to sit down at desk. I need to have my electronics charging, and I need to be focused. Because guys, if I don't have a job, I don't eat. This is a side hustle. I would love for this to grow. But I know where my butter comes from, so to say. It's my main job. And I can't afford to lose that. Because I'm not sitting on a Donald Trump inheritance. So Donald Trump can talk wild to everybody. He could be a good leader because he never had to worry about money. And I'm not mad at him, but that's the fact. Obama was still paying off college loan debt in his 40s. That's a fact. Okay, so when money's not an issue, guys, you can do whatever you want. You could call people whatever, disasters. You could call places shitholes. Why? Because you got so much money, it don't matter. And it makes you look like a good leader, okay? But when you actually have to have paid off debt and you didn't have your daddy bail you out, okay? And you've actually felt poverty and you felt what real life is, okay? And you don't divide people based on race, culture, or religion because you actually have something valuable to offer to society other than Trump marrying 3 immigrants, then blasting immigrants, okay? If you actually have something to offer other than having sex with a porn star while your wife is pregnant, okay? If you have something to offer, okay, then what you realize is you have to value it and you have to respect it. But when you don't have to respect anything is when you have everything, okay? And it doesn't matter. So, I have to be focused and be productive at my job. That's true. But I appreciate that. Let's continue. Backwoods, I just hate all the damn haters, bro. Did you hate all the haters on Obama? I didn't say that was the best president. He has cons. I voted for Obama, brother. Well, love to you, man. Look, guys, every president has haters. Bush had haters. Clinton had haters. Guys, they impeached Clinton, okay? Clinton, he did the same thing as Trump. He tripled the stock market. The country was doing great. I don't know, I know some of you guys weren't alive in the 90s, but they impeached him, okay? Why? Because he had a Stormy Daniels in the White House. So, guys, don't forget that he makes a big deal because he's a little bit of a crybaby. Like that he's getting hated on the most. But they impeached Clinton. They shot Reagan. Do you know they shot Reagan? Do you know they shot JFK? Does Trump have more haters than JFK who got his brains blown out? Or that Reagan that got shot in the gut? Or that Clinton that got impeached? Or that Obama when Trump asked for his birth certificate? Does he have more haters or does he sell it better? He sells it better, okay? That's the only difference, guys. So if you look through history and the facts, is nothing new under the sun. When you're on the top, that's what happens, okay? People hate on you, okay? Guys, I get haters. I got 400 views on my video. I get haters. I blocked 3,000 people, okay? So, guys, part of the show, okay? And I accept that. Backwoods. Understand where you're coming from, brother. He's not perfect. I'm not mad at him. But I think he's smart enough to make this country great again. I'm not mad at you. Okay, Fort. Just pulling your leg, brother. I love you. Backwoods. My dad hates Obama. I'm not surprised. He says Obama created a false economy by bailing out the banks. When we did a trade deal with China, okay, manufacturing is not coming back. It was all to do with foreign China. So I think your father's a racist. That's the truth. I think he didn't like Obama because he was black and liberal, and he loves Trump because he's just as old as Trump, and he remembers when there was still segregation, okay? So in my opinion, I think he's just an old generation that was racist. And he didn't like Obama, even though Obama tripled the stock market and got bin Laden, he didn't like him because he was black and he thought he was Muslim. That's what I think. But we can disagree. That's fine. Obama made our dollar worth less. See, you're lying. You're not getting the facts. Did the interest rates not get lowered again? Okay, see, that's why I blocked you the first time. You're not even paying attention to the economy. What happened this week in the economy? Under pressure by Trump, the Federal Reserve cut the interest rate. What does that mean? That means that the false money is getting printed. They're allowing assets to get inflated for the sake of the stock market and the real estate. So, in reality, what you should say is that Trump is doing worse than Obama did with regards to inflation. What did the deficit increase last year? 26%. Why? Because of tax cuts and military spending. So we increased the deficit last year and we cut the interest rate. You're not speaking facts. You're speaking ideology, ignorance, okay? And to me, that sounds like people that live in the middle of nowhere. That's what I think, backwards. That's why my dad says, I called him. Yeah, Dad, I would block your dad. I'm not going to lie to you. I got love for you. But look, I got to speak my piece. Like I said, we may not be friends. And I can accept that. Earhart, should I pay off my debt collections or just let them go completely? Just got out of my last debt today, only going up from here. Well, if you have college loans, they're not bankruptable. Like Trump went bankrupt 3 times, okay? So, when you're a conservative and you go bankrupt, you can only do it if you didn't have college loan debt, okay? So if you didn't inherit money, you have to pay off your college loans. But every other debt, unless you're going to go bankrupt, you should pay off. And you should try to avoid bankruptcy. So your first step to financial freedom is save up, get at least $2,000 in savings. And then try to save at least a year's worth of expenses in savings. And then slowly pay off your debt. Start paying off your debt after you get at least $2,000 in savings, at least. But don't bother with college loans because you can't bankrupt them. You can't, go into default. So, you have to decide how much debt you have, how much income you have, and then what the debt is. And then that's how it's it. But I think my message got blocked. Well, type it again, brother. It didn't get blocked. I didn't block Backwoods yet. So if he didn't get blocked, you probably still be good. Because I said Trump. Nah, look at all the stuff that Backwoods said about Trump. I didn't block you. Don't worry, we're good. Backwoods, why do you think Obama's so good? I didn't say it was so good. I gave you factual evidence why he's basically doing the same thing. He tripled the stock market just like Trump. He captured bin Laden just like he did ISIS. He lowered the interest rates just like Trump did. So I didn't sit here and masturbate to Obama. You masturbated to Trump. So what did I do? I said, look, you just came all over me. And I didn't ask for a hand job. Okay. So what I did, okay, was I broke down your ideology. Okay. So that's all I did. All right, let's stay positive, guys. All right, that's it. I'm done. All right, let's take a hydration break. Click that thumbs up. Pay off your debt unless you're Trump. Then you can inherit money and go bankrupt and marry 3 immigrants and then blame immigrants. So, guys, it's all a game. Let's stay positive. Let's push forward. Peace and love.